Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Tim's. Oh, I can take off headphones, can't we? Welcome to Tim's Inner Monologues, number 27. Again, I apologize if you can hear me, if I start sniveling, or if I have to leave to blow my nose. Unfortunately, I'm still sick. Getting better, thanks God. But again, still sort of struggling a slight bit. Anyway, Tim's Inner Monologues, number 27, Modesty. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is I thought about it for a good while, sort of on the modesty topic, especially as me and my girlfriend, we had a discussion when it came to, for example, like, what do you wear on the beach, right? Because you're not going to go to the beach like this and in jogging bottoms and then expect to go swimming. In the same way, if I want to go swimming in my local river, I'm not going to go in wearing a suit, right? Because what's the point, right? You're swimming, all right? So, modesty sort of came up with this topic, and I kind of thought, what could I do, and how could I talk about it, especially being a man, right? Because all you really have as men are swimming shorts, and then you basically go in shirtless. If you're not that confident, you'd go in wearing a shirt. But anyway, we'll get straight into it. So, modesty. Why is modesty so important? Why is it so necessary? And then we'll go over why is it being attacked today. So modesty, why modesty? Why do we need to do it? So the reason why we need to be modest in our clothes when we are working, when we are training, when we are living on a day-to-day basis is the reverence of our body for God. God gave us our body, like in Jeremiah 1:5, I knew you before you were in the womb. And again, in I think it's Romans, calls that our body is a temple of God. It is basically the thing that we're supposed to take care of. We can't neglect our physical health. And it always talks about being physically fit. Now, again, you might sit there and say, well, isn't that vanity? Are you not vain or whatnot? And I don't think it's vain to look after your body nor take care of it. So the reason why we want to be modest is to show our body in a positive light. It's to show our body basically saying, this is what God has given me and I am taking it as sacred as it is. Now, what I'm not saying is that in 40-degree weather you should be suited up with a jacket and not show a little bit any part of skin. Nor in the same way should you go for Islam and get your wife to be wearing a burqa where she can only see her eyes, or in some cases not even her eyes. Modesty can and is used to enhance the body, the physical appearance, and obviously sort of the want towards God more. So I'll give you guys a perfect example. You walk into a church. There's a reason why you dress well in church. You dress well in church because you are physically present in front of Christ in the Eucharist, and you also and you're there to celebrate the Mass. There is reverence towards God, and you want to be well dressed. Now, again, I'm not saying for you to all be suited up into Mass, but again, dressing well is necessary. Also, when it comes to first impressions, in the first 15 seconds, 90% of how people appear to you is through your body language and how you take care of yourself and how you dress. So, for example, if I was going for a job interview at a top financial firm, I would not be wearing my shirt that I'm still wearing from training, or my joggers, which is currently covered in dog hair. I wouldn't be wearing that. I'd be dressed up, suited, I'd be shaved, I'd be well taken care of. Why? Because I want my appearance to be good, and I want to make that good first impression. In the same way, the way that we dress as a whole will critique the way that other people will see us. And if we dress immodestly to the point where you can see everything, we can be perceived as less. For example, if you see a woman in church that's beautifully dressed with a veil on, I find that she would be far more beautiful than a woman who's wearing shorts up to her butt on a night out trying to get a hookup. Again, personal preference. But when it comes to it, modesty is so important because it shows the respect you have for God, the gratitude that you have for your body, because God has given you your body, and the beauty and sort of this idea of chastity, and not leading people into sinful desire and into lust. So modesty is very, very important in that way. Now, the question is going to be, how can we be modest? For example, you work a very physically manual job. You're not going to be in suits. Or, for example, you're training. Now, again, I'm a fighter. When I fight shirtless. I cannot fight with shirts on. Or it's very unorthodox if I fight with shirts on. Now, there of course are exceptions to the rule. I must stress this. If you're fighting, the last thing you're going to care about is modesty. The last thing you're going to care about is modesty. It's not going to be on your agenda, because the intention behind it is not to act immodest. When I'm warming up for my fight, or I walk out in the fight ring, my thoughts are not, oh yeah, look at my body, look at my abs, and I'm going to have all the women spooning over me. It's far from that. But, for example, if I was to take pictures of myself shirtless and put it on Instagram in a trapping way, then all of a sudden my intentions have shifted towards a more lustful outlook. Rather than when I put on my Instagram, new fight coming up, fighting September, for example. Or just finished fight camp and there's me standing like this in the ring. There is a massive, massive difference. And that is the sort of attitude that we must have when it comes to dressing modest. What is our intention at the end of the day? For example, if it's 30 degrees, I'm sweating my feet off, it's exceptionally hot, and I'm training with all of my mates, I'm going to be shirtless or wearing some sort of tank top that shows my arms. It's just the case because why? Because I want to be as cool as possible. My intentions are not to lead people into sinful behavior, nor is it to showcase my body. For example, I wouldn't walk around the neighborhood shirtless. I wouldn't run shirtless. I wouldn't go out with my girlfriend shirtless, because the intention behind it is different. Now, if I was to sit there and go, oh well, I'm very good looking, I'm going to be shirtless all the time, and I want to show the whole entire world that I'm very handsome and good looking, then it becomes different. The intention behind why I am shirtless is different. So you might go, okay, well, that makes sense then. Then how do we dress modestly? How do we look after ourselves and take care of ourselves and show that our body is effectively a temple, in the sense that God has given it to me, not in the sense that I'm worshipping my own body? Now, first and foremost, taking care of our body is very important. Being physically disciplined, doing some sort of physical exercise, some sort of sport is necessary. Not only does it help you keep your weight down and makes you into a better person, but it also keeps your mind sharp, and it helps you with your sleep. Every kilo I've lost, I sleep better, and I train and I'm sharper, I act better. Because you're not clogged with all of this nonsense. You're not clogged with all of this fat that may misjudge your thoughts and mind. So again, super, super important. Why should you take care of yourself? But why should you take care of your body physically? And also, it helps with elderly life. When you get older, 60 and 70, your body does not move like it does. However, they did a study. They actually found that the muscles, I think it was of a 75-year-old who exercised, I think 3 times a week, so not a lot, was the exact same as the muscles of a 30-year-old. I must stress, if you take care of your body physically, by doing sports, by eating well, by not being fat, you will thank yourself when you get older, because age is something we cannot escape. I will always get older as I age. My body will take a bigger toll as I get older. I can't work a physical labor job and train every single day for the rest of my life, because I know my body will eventually go, that's enough, goodbye to him. So that's super important. And also, the way that we keep our body is an honor to God. So first and foremost, taking care of your body physically, very important. Now, secondly, well, how should I be modest in my dress? So, for example, let's say, if it's winter, it's pretty easy. Everyone's dressed up, very modestly. No one's really showing skin. But for men, it's super simple. Not walking around wearing tank tops. Not walking around wearing shorts that are so short to the point where everyone can see everything. Not taking off your shirt for no apparent reason. Thinking that, you can just be shirtless 24/7 and everyone can just look at you. Because arguably, nobody really wants to look at you shirtless. Not going out and dressing modestly, not having all of your buttons undone on your shirt to the point where you can see the chest and the abs. Dressing well and smart. Dressing in, I would say, business casual at least. Being able, when you go to church, dressing in business casual, dressing smart to the point where people would mistake you for going to church. I've been asked multiple times, where are you off to? Church? I went, yes. And it's about dressing well. You need to be dressing well. Now, if you're training, of course, like I am, where I wear really short shorts, my intention is different. Because I need those short shorts, those Thai boxing shorts, to kick, to move, and to be, be able to move. I can't exactly kick in joggers. It's very uncomfortable. And it's all about that intention. In the same way I wear this shirt, it's very light. It allows me to move and, be well in that matter. But again, I'm not wearing this. Like, I would never wear this shirt to church because the intention behind it is different. So dressing modestly is important for men. Being able to dress well and smart and be able to dress for the occasion as well is important. And not posting thirst pics on social media is also very important. Don't post pictures of yourself in good lighting and go, I hope a girl sees this. Because at the end of the day, you're doing the wrong thing. You see yourself, you'll be seen as like some sort of toy that you can just be played with, and you're far more than just a bag of flesh. So that's super important. Now, again, modesty also comes down to women quite a lot. Not making sure that your cleavage is exposed at every single moment. Making sure that you dress well, that parts of your bum isn't showing. Like, the amount of girls I see wearing shorts to the point where you can see everything is beyond horrible. And it's not even warm weather. Making sure that you're dressed well, that your shoulders, basically your whole body isn't on display like a rack of meat and everyone can see it. Dressing well, dressing in nice dresses, making sure that you're taking care of your body is super important as well. Making sure that I always like to have the idea is, if I'm ever going out, would I wear this to church? Would I wear this in front of my priest? If the answer is no, I don't wear it. For example, if I'm wearing my fighting shorts and a tank top, and I go, yeah, I'm going to go out with my girlfriend, for example, on a date with this. If I went, all right, Tim, you're now in church, you wearing that? No, I'd immediately cover up. One time I was in church with a tank top, and it was by accident. And it was for the practice, on the day I was supposed to get baptized. I wore a tank top underneath and a hoodie, and I was not told that we would be christened with oil on our chest. And I asked my priest, I apologized multiple times that I was in a tank top and dressed inappropriately. And if there was another shirt, he just goes, just take the hoodie off, we'll christen you and you can put it back on, it's no problem. And I felt horrible wearing a tank top in church. But again, it's all about that intention. So for example, not wearing Crocs and a football shirt to church, super important. Would you do it at a wedding? No. Would you do it at a funeral? No. Would you do it at your, would you do it at any other important occasion? No. So why are you doing it at church, which is the most important thing to do? The most important event ever, celebrating Mass. And in the same way, it keeps us in check. Men cannot look at, or men will have less time looking at women lustfully if there is nothing to look at. If, for example, a woman walks past me and she's dressed modestly, the chance of me looking at her lustfully is a lot less because there is nothing on display, if that makes sense. She doesn't have anything hanging out. She isn't showcasing anything. She's dressed modestly. And in the same way, that's my phone. In the same way, if a woman is dressed immodestly, there is more to look at. There is more to jeer at. It's just common sense. So, for example, when it comes to, let's say, looking at the beach, going to the beach, why should you dress modestly? Now, for men, it's difficult. You're not really going to be swimming with a shirt on. For women, it's pretty easy. Like, for example, the bikini has only been a recent thing for the last 120 years. Originally, it was created by a Frenchman who was a pervert and wanted to see women in their underwear. And in fact, when he was trying to sell the idea, he struggled so badly at getting a woman to model it, he went to prostitutes and said, I will pay you a lot of money if you model for me in underwear. And many refused. Prostitutes, who are willing to sell their body to anyone for money, refused to wear underwear to the beach. Tells you a lot. So wearing, a one-piece or very modest two-piece clothing, again, it's all about the intention. And then my final point comes down to, why is modesty attacked? Well, modesty and chastity, arguably two exceptionally important things. Not only does the devil know that our body is given to us by God, the devil wants to basically demolish everything that God has given us and make it ugly. If we resolve ourselves to dressing immodestly, and others will see us not for who we are, not for our heart, not for our promises and the things that we believe in and who we are as a person, but they see us as a walking meat rack or a walking pleasure item who we can just get attached on, have sex with, and move on. We degrade ourselves to the lowest of the low. The devil wants that. The devil knows that. Yo. Can you go for a second? I'm busy. Sorry. And what's called? The devil I'll be finished in a second anyway. The devil knows this. He knows that if we degrade if he allows us to remove modesty from our lives, he degrades us. We get degraded to the lowest of the lows, and we feel negative. We reject what God has given us, which is our body, which is beautiful, and we degrade ourselves to some pleasure item to look at. And that's super important. We have to stress how important this is. We cannot just let the devil tempt us into dressing immodestly for people to look at and jeer at us and think, oh, well, forget everything about them, forget what their aspirations, goals, character is. I only see you as a pleasure item. I only want to hook up with you because you look good, and I don't care about anything else. And in that moment, you might go, oh, well, Tim, you know what? That's actually a really good thing. I find it very attractive when people think I'm hot. But at the end of the day, they don't care about you. They don't care who you are. They don't care about your aspirations. They don't care about what you have to offer. All they care about is them. It's a very negative and selfish thing. And that's why we have to keep modest. Men and women have to keep modest. And I see this less and less. You have men and women dressing inappropriately to mass. We see men in shorts, granted if it's very, very hot, but like men dressing inappropriately as if they've just come back from the gym. Or men dressing inappropriately as if they're at a football match. You are at mass, the most important thing to celebrate, and you are dressed like this. It shows the reverence and importance that you have towards God, and there's nothing of it. Same with women dressing inappropriately, showcasing their cleavage, or wearing leggings or spandexes. You are at mass. You are in front of God, celebrating mass. Why are you dressed like you've just come back from the gym, or you've been at home all day, or you're wearing pajamas all day and you think it's the right thing to do? So, super important. Super, super important. Dress well to be respected and not to be looked at like a bag of meat. That's the importance of modesty. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Granted, I know I still have this background. I'm going to be buying a microphone within the next week or two. I'm just waiting to get some money into my account, and then I'm going to purchase it. I will buy a microphone, I'll buy the tripod stand, and then we will have better backgrounds rather than just this. So, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. God bless you all. Have a fantastic Sunday. I'm off to mass soon. So I'm about to finish this one. But again, have a fantastic Sunday. Remember to dress modest in your words, in your actions, and how you dress physically. And make sure when you go to mass, you dress appropriately to the occasion. Have a good one, guys. God bless.